Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. First and foremost, I just want to thank y'all for the feedback of my first video because oh my god, y'all did that because oh my god, I did not expect that many people watching. And wow, I got so many subscribers after the ones that I already had because if y'all didn't know, I had posted videos before of myself and my cousins, and then I deleted them because they were just really bad. Anyway, so today I'm going to talk about my labor and delivery and how everything just went down. And by the title of this video, y'all are like, oh my god, emergency C-section? What? Yeah, I got an emergency C-section, but y'all are going to find, figure out how it all just, happened and everything. So, let's get started. So let's look back to February 2nd, which was my actual the date that they had, my due date that they had given me, the doctor. And then I had been feeling like little symptoms or whatever like a week before that, so I was like, yes, we're about to just have this baby naturally, with no induction, because I really did not want an induction at all. I did not want it. And then I had went the week before my due date, and then they were like, okay, they had checked me, and this can be a TMI kind of video because I'm just gonna say it all. I don't care. And if boys are watching, then this is what it is. So anyways, so yeah, they had checked me to see if I was dilated, and I was not dilated, and they couldn't. Well, no, first of all, I'm lying. They had checked me, and they had said oh, they couldn't check me because my cervix was shifted to my right. So all they could say was oh, my cervix is soft. So I was like, okay. I was like, was this a bad thing or something? I thought it was going to interfere with me having him naturally or whatever. And then they said no, it was normal, whatever. And then they were like, okay, if you don't have the baby by February 2nd, which is your due date, you're gonna have a requested induction by 4 days after. So basically he was gonna be born, well, I was gonna start my induction February 6th. And I don't know, for some of y'all that have me on my Instagram, I was walking along, and I kept putting oh, I'm still pregnant, oh, I'm still pregnant. And I literally got to 40 weeks and I was still pregnant. So I went over my due date, and I was like, oh my god. So it all started Friday, February 5th, when it was at 1 p.m. and my mucus plug had came out. A lot of people don't know what that is, and I'm not gonna describe what it is, so if y'all want to know, then just go search it up. Anyways, my mucus plug had came out, and usually they say oh, you could be going in labor in an hour or two, or later on, or that's the beginning of labor, that's your it could be a whole week before. And your mucus, it doesn't mean so much. It could mean a lot, but at the same time, no. So I was kind of freaking out because I was like, oh my god, what is this? I had went to the restroom, and then just and I was like, oh my god, what is this? So I had to I knew what it was, but I felt I couldn't believe it. So then I just searched it up again, and then I was like, oh my god, what is this? What does it mean? This and that. And I just kept doing my research until I started feeling minor contractions. Not contractions, they were Braxton Hicks. And then I just went on about my day. And then that night at 10 p.m. actually, after my mucus plug had came out, the whole day it was more stuff started coming out. And then I was like, okay. So then it was around 10 p.m. To be exact, it was 10:30 p.m. I had went to the restroom, and then I had came back And then I felt like me leaking, and I was like, oh, no way. But one of my cousins had called me, and like once I answered the phone, like I felt like myself leaking, and I was like, oh my god, I think my water just broke. And then I hung up, and then like it all just happened so crazy because I had been having like minor contractions before that, but I was like, no, like I'm gonna wait because I had put it in my head like I don't want to go to the hospital until like I literally cannot handle them no more, because I was like, I don't want to be connected to monitors and all of this stuff and just be in the freaking bed like holding my whole pain, and like because like they put like all the monitors and you can like you can move, but like you have to be like to the bed, like you can't really be walking around or like doing the stuff that you could be doing like if you were at home, you know what I mean? So I was like, no, like I'm gonna wait. So they had started coming, like it was like I was having like longer pain, but it was my Braxton Hicks. So then oh yeah, so then after that, I had felt the leak, and then that's when I was like, okay. And then I went to the restroom to check myself, and it was like there was like some leakage, but it wasn't like a lot. But I didn't know what to expect, like let's say like my water breaking. So I basically just said like, oh, my water broke, and I left the hospital, and that was like at 10:30. We ended up leaving like by 11, and then we got there by 11:30 because the hospital that I gave birth at was in downtown. And then so after that, they ended up checking me in, and they were like, oh, like asking me all these questions, blah blah. But I was feeling like no contractions. And usually after your water breaks, you start feeling your contractions like sooner, or like you start feeling contractions, and I was not feeling contractions at all. So they ended up checking me, and no, I had not, my water had not broke. And then I also was not dilated. Well, no, I was a centimeter and a half dilated, and that was, by the time they checked me, it was like 12:30. And then they put like a monitor to check my contractions, the baby's heart rate, whatever. And then I ended up hmm, I blanked out. They ended up telling me like, oh yeah, you're having contractions, and like I could feel them, but I felt like I like it wasn't like bad yet. So I was like, no way, like, so I was like, okay, like whatever. And then I was like, I was really hoping that I could stay there, because I was like, tomorrow I basically have the induction like already scheduled, and it was gonna be in the evening time. So I was like, if I could get this baby out by tonight, I was like, perfect, because I do not want all of that medicine, whatever. So then, I ended up they were like, okay, we're gonna leave you here for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. And they were like, if you don't dilate more or to where you're supposed to be, because when they admit you into the hospital to like you being in labor until you're 4 centimeters or your water broke, and I was nowhere near that, and my water did not break. So um it was like 2:30, and they checked me again, and nope, I was not dilated, and my water had not broke, obviously. So they sent me back home. I got back home like at 3:30 by the time they did all the paperwork, whatever. And then once I got back home, well, on the way back home, actually, I started feeling contractions like crazy. Like I like I was trying to breathe through them, but like I couldn't breathe through them. And then I was like, okay. And then I didn't want to go back, because I was like, man, I just came back from there, and I was like, there's no way like I can dilate that quick. Like I was just so in denial. Like I was like no, like I'm just not gonna go back. So once I got home, like I started feeling really, really bad back pain, and then I started feeling like my contractions. And compared to what I felt when I was in labor, it was honestly, it was worse at home than when I was in actual labor, because you'll see. But yeah, so I ended up, like, I was like so bad. I started throwing up because of the pain, or well, I think it was because of the pain. I started literally throwing up. Like, I threw up like five, I kid you not, like 5 times. And it was like so bad, like at the point where I kept throwing up, and it was like water was coming out, and then I had so much pain, and then it was like I was putting so much force on my stomach, because when I throw up, I make like a lot of force on my stomach. I don't know why. And I was like, I tried to like not throw up, but like when, I don't know why, but I know when I'm gonna throw up. Like, my mouth gets so watery, like I'm just like, there's nothing holding me back from me throwing up. Like, I'm gonna throw up. So I was throwing up like crazy, and then I put a heating pad behind my back, and I was, wait, no, cut that out. I took a bath before. Yeah, I took a bath. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go take a bath. So I went to go take a bath, and I sat in the tub, and oh my god, it felt so much more better. Like, I felt so relieved. Like, I was in there for 30 minutes, and it was just like, wow. Like, I it was like I was feeling them, but they weren't that bad. Like, it was just like everything had just calmed down. And then I was like, okay. So then I got out, and then I put a heating pad, and then I was still having like pain, but it wasn't like as bad. And then I ended up going to sleep till like 8 in the morning, till 11 in the morning, and like my pain had totally like shut out. Like, I didn't have no contractions. I wasn't feeling like nothing at all. And then once I woke up, it was like it hit me all over again. And then I needed to eat, because I threw up basically everything that I had ate the day before. So um I I told my boyfriend to go get me what is it called? A licuado. And then by the time he came back, my pain was getting worse. So I only drank a little bit of that. Remember that, y'all. I had threw up everything that I had ate the day before, and then I drank a little bit of the licuado. And then like a whole hour later, I went to sleep again, and then I woke up again, and it was like an hour. And then I decided to go to the hospital, because I was like, okay, I've been throwing up a lot, and my pain was coming back like crazy. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go, because I was like, whatever, if they send me back home, they send me back home. But I was like, I'd rather go be safe and sound than, like, not checking myself. So I ended up basically um going back, and it was like 2:30. And then by the time they admitted me, whatever, it was like 3. And then they checked me. I was still the centimeter and a half dilated, and then my water did not break, nothing, like no changes at all. So then they kept me again for 2 hours. They were like, okay, we'll see if you dilate more, whatever. And then they checked me, and I was still not dilated more. But remember that this was Saturday morning already. It was Saturday already, and my induction was scheduled for the evening, and this was already like 2:30. And I was like, I guess I'm probably, they're just probably gonna keep me. So yeah, they ended up telling me like, okay, we're gonna keep you, because you were next on the call for the induction. And I was like, oh, okay. So they started putting like the IV and stuff like that, and then they transferred me to the labor and delivery floor. So then Yeah, and then they like I transitioned to everything, whatever. And then like by the time that everything happened, my induction started at 6 p.m. and I was still the same, dilated. I still like nothing had changed. So then they at 6 p.m. they had put this little pill, which is like the start of the induction. They put this little pill inside of you, and it dissolves, and it is for like for your cervix to get softer, or like to help you dilate and stuff like that. And it's for 4 hours. So they put it at 6 p.m. and then I ended up going well to 10 p.m. They checked me again, and I had dilated to 3 centimeters. And so after that, they were gonna start putting pitocin. Pitocin is like a medicine, so like your contractions can start like coming and like stuff like that, so they can begin. So they started with pitocin at level 2, or I don't know. They had just told me like it was number 2. I don't know what it means. I just know that they had told me like, oh, it's at 2. So I started at 2, and then they ended up like every 30 minutes they were gonna keep like putting it up and up. So once they started at 2, this was at 10 when they had put the pitocin, well, started it. And then after that they had came like 30 minutes later, and they put it up to 4. So once they put it up to 4, that was like around 10:30. And they ended up breaking my water. And so they broke my water, and then they had put the pitocin up. And then so my contractions, once they break your water, it's like basically your contractions start coming a lot more. So like you start dilating a lot more, and then your water breaks. So like, like everything's really happening now. And so once they broke my water, I was like, oh, this is what it feels like. It literally feels like they just like pop like a big balloon, and like it's so much water. Like I never thought that it was gonna be so much water, because I had seen this YouTuber, and like when her water broke, it was like a little bit, like it wasn't a lot. So once they broke my water, I was like, no way, like this is what I was supposed to feel compared to the little leak that I went to hospital for. I was like, oh my god. So and then I ended up like, I was like, okay, like they have you with the monitors and stuff like that. So I had asked for me to like be able to walk around and stuff. And then I started like leaking blood, and I was like, oh, no way. So I called the nurse, and I was like, I'm leaking blood. I was like, I don't know what's happening. And then she was like, oh, it's normal, like this and that. And I was like, okay. So that was that. And then so they have like this little computer, well, like a screen to like show you like the baby's heart rate and your contractions. And my contractions seem to be like, I don't know if y'all seen my last video, but like they were so close together, and they were like getting like really like high. So when it's really high, that means like it was a really strong contraction. And I was not feeling them. Like, I kid you not, y'all. Like, I could not feel my contractions. And I did not have the epidural. I did not have, like, because they also offer, like, this IV medicine so they can numb you. Well, sort of numb you. And I could not feel my contractions. And I was like, I think, like, that's a joke, because I was like, there's no way, like, I'm not feeling them. Like, it was, I just felt like little cramps, but it was never like, like me feeling like really bad contractions. So I had told the nurse, and I was like, I'm not feeling none of my contractions. I was like, is that okay? And she was like, yeah. She was like, it's fine, it's because of medicine, whatever. And I was like, okay. So after that, she kept coming back in, and she was like, so how do you feel? How do you feel? And like my pain started getting worse. And um the baby's heart rate, so they had put the pitocin up to 4 like around 10:30, and they ended up like bringing it back down at 1 in the morning. And it was like they had came in and they had told me like, oh, the baby's heart rate, like he keeps moving, he's really active. And I was like, okay. So they kept moving my monitor, um and to track him basically like for his heart rate. And then they couldn't, like he kept moving, so they couldn't really tell um his heart rate. So it kept showing like basically like his heart rate going down. And well, obviously that's not good. So they ended up like they had left, and then they came back. And then she was like, well, you know what, we're gonna put this catheter, like they put like this, there's another way where they can track his heart rate. So they put it something I'm not sure what it was. They put it inside me, and it could track like his heart rate. So they took his monitor off, and they were just tracking my contractions with the stomach one, with the stomach band, and then the other one was down there. So I still hadn't got my epidural. And then once I kept telling her like, oh my, I feel like I feel more pain. She was like, oh, do you want the epidural, like this and that? And I was like, no, I'm fine, like I can handle some more. So they hadn't checked me in like a couple of hours. So they ended up she ended up coming back, and she was like, well, you know what, like, oh, I'm just gonna put the pitocin down back to 2 because my contractions were really really like back to back, so they weren't letting him breathe or like rest or nothing like that. So it was like really like a lot of stress for him. So they ended up putting the pitocin down. And then after that, it was like they had told me like his heart rate kept going down. So the same nurse that was attending me, she had came back, and she was like, oh, like go to the side or go to this side, like this and that, like to track his heart rate. And I was like, okay, like I don't know, like it hadn't like clicked to me yet, like anything like weird. Like it was just kind of like, okay, like I'm just gonna follow what they're saying. So I was like, oh, like I was asking questions like, oh, you know, like is he okay, like, you know, like is it because of me, like what am I doing wrong, like this and that. And then it was like around 3 in the morning. And then my pain started coming like really really bad. So um I was gonna ask for the other IV. And then they were like, she was like, well, okay. She was like, well, with the medicine, she was like, you can go from 3 centimeters to 8 centimeters like that. So she was like, I really recommend you to get it. And then I was like, well, I was like, no, I was like, I think I can handle some more. And then I started shaking after that, like my pain was getting really bad again. And then I was like, okay. I was like, might as well just get it, because I got really scared, because I was like, okay, if I go from 3 to 8 like that, I was like, I'm not gonna be able to get that epidural, and I'm gonna have to have him naturally. My bad, y'all. I had to go with the baby. But okay, I'm back. So I ended up getting the epidural. And then after that, it was like, well, okay, let me explain how the epidural went down. First, they had to like get my boyfriend out. So they took him out, obviously, because he can't be there to see. Because I guess it's kind of like, if I saw his reaction of the needle or like something like that, then it was just gonna like freak me out, and then I was gonna move. And like, you know, they say like when you move then you can get paralyzed, blah blah. So they ended up taking him out, and I was like, oh my god. And then they like what was my contractions, I started feeling them, like they were like really bad, and like I was just shaking, you know. So I was kind of like, okay, like I was kind of freaking out. She had ended, she was like, um, oh, do you have any questions? And I was like, does my shaking interfere with like any of my like you prettying it? And she was like, no. She was like, just try to relax and like take a deep breath and like this and that. And I was like, how? Like, I was like, well, I didn't say that, but I was like, okay, sure. And so this is what they do. So they like make you go to like the edge of the bed. So like, okay, let's say this is the edge. Well, this is the bed. They make you go on this side, and then they'll put it like they're like behind you over here, and like you're over here facing the other way. And they give you like a pillow, and like they make you like go like that, really like bend yourself really bad. And like it was like, if like my contractions, y'all, I don't know how to explain. Like they were like crucial. Like they were like I can't explain. Like it was just such bad pain. Like I was just shaking, and like my stomach was just so hard. Like I could not explain like how hard my stomach would get. It was like so intense. Like I had never like, well, okay, I have never been to hospital. What the hell? Like, no, like I feel like nobody has ever experienced that except women that have given birth. And like shout out to everyone that has given birth, because oh my god, that is so real. Like honestly, like it was something that like obviously I would never forget, because like oh my god, like it is extreme. Like some people, like they're like, oh, like you know, like it doesn't hurt, like this that. I don't know how they say like it doesn't hurt. Like it hurts. Like can't nobody say that doesn't hurt. And I had like in the matter of time that they were trying to put that epidural, I had like freaking 5 contractions, and like it was just so bad, and they were so consistent, and like it was just so bad. Like I was literally screaming. Like I was like, ow, like it hurts. And she was like, the lady was like, ow, me or ow, your contractions? And I was like, ow, my contractions. I was like, no, you're fine. I was like, keep doing what you're doing, because I need that now. And honestly, like it feels like, well, okay, I know they explain like the needle's like this freaking big, but um they don't even let you like turn around like nothing. They're like, they do not want you to see that. And so um they were like it kind of feels like a stinging feeling, like icy, like let's say like icy hot basically, but like in a shot, like just going down your like just going up your spine. Like I don't know, that's kind of what it feels like. It feels like a little pinch. Honestly, I was scared. Like I had always been scared, like oh my god, what if I move, like what if I move, what if I move? But trust me, girl, you do not want to move. Okay, I say girl because like I feel like it's a whole bunch of girls watching, so yeah. But anyways, so um after that it was like, okay, I'm gonna need you to start moving, because I guess like his heart rate was going down again. And so they kept my boyfriend out for like 10 minutes, and like it was like crazy, you know. So like the feeling of the epidural, like it literally starts numbing you. Like okay, first you start feeling like hot like in your legs, and then like you start feeling like I don't like I could not feel my freaking like hips. Like it was kind of crazy because I could not feel them, and I was like, okay, like this feels weird. And then like she was like, oh, move your legs. And I was like, I can't move my legs. And she was like I could not feel them. Like I was like, like what is this? Like I was like, no way. Like I'm literally like going through this right now. Like are you kidding? So um one thing I did not know is that they put a catheter so you can pee. So obviously it's kind of like, oh, how are you gonna get up to pee, right? yeah, I didn't ever think that I was gonna have like something like for me to pee. Like, I don't know why, I just never thought of it. Like, it never crossed my head that I was just gonna have to meet that, you know? So yeah, FYI, they put that, and so you can pee. Obviously, you don't feel it. Um, when they take it out, though, you feel it because you don't have no epidural no more. That's basically like you're not numb no more. So, um, they ended up. So yeah, so basically, like they just went on about their day, and we're like, oh, congrats, like this, that. And I was over here like, freaking out right now. And then so they ended up leaving, and then the nurse kept telling me like, oh, go to this side, go to that side, um, and like it was just kind of crazy. Like it was kind of like an hour and a half, I'd say. Oh, obviously my boyfriend came back. Let me just say that my boyfriend came back, and then it was like an hour and a half later. Well, no, yeah, it was like at 5. It was like 4:55, I'd say. Yeah. If I could be exact, I think it was like 4:55 when I watched the clock. Okay. And let me tell you. Oh, well, by the way, I took a nap after the epidural. I was fine. Let me tell y'all, I was like, ooh, like this feels so good. Like I didn't feel nothing. Like I was great. And then it was around that time and it was like around to be 5, and my nurse came rushing in, and she was like, she put the oxygen thing on me, and then I was like, okay, like this is weird. Like she hadn't told me what was going on. Like she just put it on. She was like, oh sweetie, put this on. And then um she was like, turn to your side, turn to the other side. And like I guess like his heart rate was not like going up, so his heart rate had dropped really really low. um I didn't tell, but my boyfriend saw on the monitor that it said it was like 80, and I think it was supposed to be at 130. 130 or 160, honestly I don't remember. And so she was like, turn around. So they basically made me like sit on my, like on 4, like my arms and my knees. And I kid, well, okay, mind you, I had the epidural, and I didn't, like I couldn't feel my legs, like I couldn't move my hips, and I was just so rushed. Like I felt like I needed to do this so quickly for my baby, and that like I couldn't. So they had to help me put my, like, to put me in that position, because I couldn't, like my legs were literally numb, like I could not move. And so they had to help me, and I still had the oxygen thing, and they were like, breathe, breathe. And like I was freaking out, y'all. Like I was like, what's going on? And so it was like, it all happened so quickly that it was like boom, like it was like in the matter of like a minute, like 5 nurses came in, and then I got turned around again, and then the nurse that was checking me to see if I was dilating, she had checked me, told these numbers to the other nurse, and then was like, I was like, okay, what's going on, like what's happening? And she was like, your heart rate is the baby's heart rate is really low. And they were like, and then she had screamed out 5, and I was like, 5 what? And she was like, you're 5 centimeters. She was like, that's great, and like this and this. And then I was like, okay. And then the nurse that was checking me for dilation, she called on her little phone and told called my main doctor that was gonna deliver the baby, and told her like the numbers, I don't know, and was like, all I remember was like, she was like, oh, emergency C-section, emergency C-section. And then they're like, okay, everyone, emergency C-section. Then like it was like, I freaking started crying, and I was like, what? And then like another lady was putting like a cap on me, and then another lady was like taking all the monitors off me, and then was taking like, I don't know, I was plugged up to so many things that they were just like taking everything off, and then they were like, oh, like, position yourself this way, keep breathing. I still had the oxygen, and then they ended up taking the oxygen, um and then I remember I just crying, like literally like hysterically crying. Like I was like I couldn't believe myself. Like I had never even crossed my head. Like it was never like it had never crossed my head like, oh yeah, you can have a C-section. Like yeah, I knew it in the back of my head, but I was like, I wouldn't like I was never gonna have a C-section. They always told me like my baby was small. Like I was like, oh, I'm about to push this baby on like nothing, you know? And it was like everything just like flipped on me. Like I was like not prepared at all. Like my cousin had just gave birth 3 weeks before that, so I was literally like, we were like best buddies throughout our whole pregnancy, because we were like, you know, telling each other like everything, because we're first time moms. And it was like it was like she had kept telling me like everything, like to prepare myself for this and that, for a vaginal delivery. And then it was like, oh snap, like it had never like, oh wow, you know, like there could be a chance you could have a C-section. That had like never like, no, I had never like talked about it. We never discussed about this, like no. So um I was just like in shock. Like I was like, I wasn't breathing right. Like I was just like, oh my god. And I just looked at my boyfriend, and then the doctor was talking to him, and he was just looking at me like in shock. And like um they started rushing me and pushing me in to the C-section room. And they ended up transferring me to the other bed, I guess, where they do the C-sections. And it was like they started upping my epidural, and I don't know if they strapped my arms or not, but I had to be like this. I don't know why. I was so drugged up, y'all. Like I I remember, but like honestly, like it's just like kind of like a blur to me, because everything happened so quickly. So um like literally they transferred me to the other bed. My hands were like this. I didn't have my boyfriend with me because he had to be in like the scrubs and all of that stuff. Um, and then they they were like, "Oh, you want the dad in here?" And I was like, "Yes." And then all I could feel was like a lot of pressure like on my stomach. Like I didn't feel like them cutting me or nothing like that, because if y'all didn't know, um they cut you. Obviously, right? Um but like I didn't feel none of that. All I felt was like them just like moving my stomach. Like I was literally like moving on the bed like back and forth, of like, I don't know, like so much pressure that they were putting on my stomach. I don't know exactly what they were doing, but it felt like they had just like cut me, and then it was like they grabbed my skin and just like poof like that, and like pulled it, and then I pulled it back. I don't know, it just felt like so much movement that I feel like I shouldn't. Like I don't know, it was just so weird. And like I was awake, but like I couldn't feel anything down there. And then so my boyfriend had came in, and he was just like, you know, like he was just there. And and then I ended up hearing my baby cry, and I'm sorry, I had to switch phones. Anyways, um so I finally heard my baby cry, and then they were like, "Oh, do you want to hold your baby?" But I felt so weak. And remember that I told y'all to remember that I had threw everything the day before. So I had literally like just drugs in my system. Like I had no food. Like I couldn't eat either. Like, it was literally so bad. So I felt so weak. I felt like I was just gonna freaking like drop him. Even though I was laying down, like I felt like my legs were, I mean my arms were just gonna like bleh, like I was just gonna like drop him. So I was like, no, like I'm okay, thank you. I was like, I can hold him later. So um for some reason they make you like, so okay. They had put, like, they were cleaning the baby and stuff, and then like my boyfriend was holding him, and then with me, like, they were just like, they had like twisted me like on the bed, like they were like, okay, the bed was so little, like I'm talking about like if you lay down, like that's it. Like that's all they give you. They don't give you no extra space, no nothing. So they like made me like go like to my side like that, and well, I didn't feel the cut or nothing like that, but like I felt like I was gonna fall. Like that was like kind of like the most funniest part, because I felt like I was gonna fall, but they were like, and I didn't want to turn. Like I literally like forced myself. I was like, no, I'm gonna fall. And then they were like, no, you're not gonna fall. Like we're right here. And I was like, I don't trust y'all. Like I'm about to fall, and I didn't fall, but yeah, I just felt like y'all should know that. And then they ended up transferring me back to the other bed, and I couldn't move obviously. And they put this binder on me. It's like a faja basically, but like not like one of those that you like with the buttons. It's like just like a regular one. And they put that so like I guess like it could tie my stomach, just so like I don't know if it's because of the cut. Like, I'm not sure what it is honestly, but they put that on me. And then so it felt so much better to have it than without it. Like honestly, you like, okay, I know girls are watching this, and I know y'all see like the famous girl, like the influencers, and they have like their BBLs and stuff, and they have to put the faja on, and then they take it off, and then they feel like they're gonna pass out. That's literally how I felt. Like I literally felt like my organs had like expanded just like that when they took it off. And it was just like a really bad feeling. Like I literally wanted to put it back on like right like that, because it felt like so bad. Like my stomach was so tight, and then they just like released it, that it was just like my stomach was just like, and so yeah. So yeah, they had done that. And I had to be like in the recovery room for like 4 hours. And I couldn't eat nothing. And so I ended up having the baby at 5:36 in the morning. So remember I told you I was like 4 something, and then by the time they took me, blah blah blah. But it all happened like so quick. Like it seemed like it was like 5 minutes in the time that they just like, took me. And then I I was asleep. Honestly, the like it's kind of a blur. Like after that, I don't really remember. All I remember was like me waking up, and like the nurse being right beside me, and the baby being like in the little crib bassinet thing. And then my boyfriend was like just sitting there. And then yeah, and she was like, oh, yeah, like you can't eat like this and that, because with all the medicine that they had put, like I could throw up. And with the cut, like I couldn't throw up, because like it was gonna be bad, it was gonna really hurt me. So the epidural wears off, like when they cut it off, it wears off like 2 hours later. So but I had to take medicines, because the cut was like really bad. Like, oh my god, y'all, when I ended up feeling it, like it was really bad. Like it felt like a stinging sensation, like just like in my stomach. Like I've never had surgery, I've never nothing like that. So it was like, whoa, like like I had just experienced it for the first time. So everything was so new to me. And I'm such a freaking, like, I'm such a scary cat, because I can't take pills. Like, well, I can take pills, but like not big pills. And at this point, they had given me like this big pill that I had to take, so it could like numb me again, like for the pain. girl, I took that like nothing. Like literally, like I did not care. I was like, oh my god, I'm taking this. Like I'm gonna take it. Like I had literally put in my head, like I'm gonna freaking take this because I don't know what I'm gonna do if I don't. So I took it. I've learned how to take the pills now because like obviously I needed them, and yeah, and I lost like a lot of blood. So I was almost to where like I had to get a blood transfusion, and but I didn't. I saved myself from it. So I'm on iron pills because my iron levels got really low because of how much blood I like let out. I don't know. And yeah, that's pretty much like how my labor and delivery like all went down. um so for the people that asked me like, oh, did it hurt, like this and that, I did not experience a vaginal delivery. So honestly, I'm sorry, but I can't tell y'all like, oh yeah, it hurt. All I can tell y'all is that those contractions, yeah, yeah, they're no joke. um but yeah, um just my healing process, that's like a whole other story that I'm not even gonna go through because it's already a long video. So yeah, if you have any questions or anything like that, then just leave them down below and I'll answer them, or I'll make another video about it. If y'all want to know about my recovery and stuff like that, I'll also let y'all know. If y'all want the video, just let me know. um and yeah, so let me just wrap this video because I've been talking for forever now, and yeah, I have to, so anyways, y'all like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you have any other video ideas that you want me to do, then just let me know. And yeah, anyways, thank y'all for watching. Bye.